share with the rest of the world.
That's right. That's right. All right, everybody. Welcome to Word on the Street, powered by Lean Solutions Group. Trey Griggs of Lean Solutions here today with Greg Roberts and my good friend Coleman Ruffin. Well, I guess Greg's my good friend too. We're both good friends. But anyways, very excited to have you guys. We'll see who else jumps in today. But yeah, so Coleman, you were asking right before we went live on YouTube what we're doing this weekend. I'll start it off. Very excited. Here in about 3 hours, we're going to take the LRV and we're heading to Indianapolis. And we're going to watch the 500 this weekend on Sunday. Nice. So very excited about that. It's become an annual tradition. I don't know if I've shown you this or not, but I collect these die-cast cars of the winners every year. And so this is last year's winner, Takuma Sato. Really cool car. This is actually the new shape of the car. It's got a windshield now, which it used to never have. Yeah. So pretty cool to kind of see those. And we're looking forward to seeing that. My daughter's going to get to see it for the first time this year. So very excited.
Nice. How long's the drive up to Indy for you?
It's about 4 hours, so it's not very long at all. But you do lose an hour when you switch over to Eastern time zone, so it ends up being 5 hours. But makes the ride home really quick, actually.
Yeah, there we go.
Back 4 hours, and you gain an hour coming back. So that works pretty nice. But we're driving over tonight. We're gonna get the RV set up, and then we're gonna take some time. And tomorrow we're going to the museum. So there's this museum inside the track that has several of the winning cars from years past. So it has like Mario Andretti's car in 1969, which was one of the first rear engine cars to win at Indy. The engine used to be in the front when it started. And then, about in the mid 60s, it started flirting around with engine in the back. And Mario's car was the first one to win with the engine in the back in 1969. So you can see the progression of the cars. You can see the trophy, the Borg-Warner trophy, which is a weird trophy. It's this. So I should get a picture of this. It's actually this trophy that has the face of every driver etched into it. Like it's weird. Like a lot of the other trophies, they put your name on it. This one, they actually put like a statue face on the side of it. It's really, really odd.
Hopefully,
it's up there with the Stanley Cup. I think it's one of the best trophies in sports. It's up there,
It's pretty epic. It's very unique, very, very unique.
I've never seen that before.
A picture, I'll throw it.
I was gonna say I definitely have to check it out. And hopefully, they're good sculptures. Because did you all ever see the sculpture of Cristiano Ronaldo that they unveiled that one time?
No, I haven't seen that.
Oh wow! I'll drop it in the chat too, and you're gonna. Oh.
Awesome. Yeah, let me see if I want to get a good picture of this so that we can really get see it up close. That's a pretty good one right there. I'm gonna get a couple of these pictures. It's very, very kind of weird. Not gonna lie, very, very odd just seeing these pictures. All right, there's that one. I'm gonna get the one here that's up close so you can see. We can maybe see a little bit closer here.
So I just sent it in the chat box. The first one, this is a real story. The first one is what they unveiled. The second one is what they redid it to afterwards because he was like, you can't have this as my statue.
Oh, interesting. Okay, well.
It'll make sense when you see it, Trey, don't worry.
Yeah, that first one's not, it's not good.
It's brutal.
I'll try to throw these in the This Week in Pictures and we'll get a good look at it. So that will be good. All right, Rob, what's up? Aaron, what's going on? The crowd is filtering in. I think everybody's late because you guys are like working. What's the deal? You working? Is
work today?
Is TJ making you work too hard? What's going on?
No, I love every minute of it.
Oh, there we go.
I thought you'd be out on your porch by now.
She knows this is being recorded.
Yeah, she's like, I'm live on YouTube. I gotta make sure mind my P's and Q's.
Let's
no, I do. It's very interesting dealing with these drivers and carriers that I've never had to deal with that before. So it's a completely different side of things. But I like it.
I have a driver right now who claims to be there, and I'm asking him for a door. Oh, he's checked in. He just doesn't have a door yet. I said, okay, go inside. Get me the first and last name of the person you're talking to.
All of a sudden, actually, I'm an hour out. Sorry.
Well, this is the same driver that earlier today said he's right nearby. He tried to go in early, but they wouldn't take him. He's at a nearby truck stop. So.
Yep. That's how it works.
That's how it works with the drivers. Have fun with that. So, Nathan, what's going on, buddy? How are you?
It's a nice picture of Nathan.
That is a nice picture of Nathan. There it is.
I'm here. Sorry.
Oh.
I just got back from the grocery store, staying up all night, customers just don't realize holidays, their emergency and lack of planning doesn't create an issue on my end. So
That's what you're there for. You're Mr. Fix-It, right?
yeah, that's it's money making time right now. I was up really late doing it.
Oh yeah.
That's where it's at right now.
That's where it's at.
There's a premium
Well,
for that.
Yeah.
There's a premium for that. A lot of good things going on right now. Well, what else is going on this weekend? Memorial Day weekend coming up. Anyone else doing anything fun? I'm going to the Indy 500. We were talking about that earlier. That got us into the trophy conversation, which we'll talk about later on. But what else are you guys doing this weekend? Anything fun?
For myself, heading up camping. I told y'all a while back we got a truck, and then we actually just got a rooftop tent that we get to try out for the first time this weekend. So stoked for that.
Boom.
Yeah.
Big time. Tent camping.
I know.
What's a
Way past that in my
rooftop
life at this point.
Well, we've slowly progressed up. The RV's the next step, where we had a tent that was on the ground. Now it's on our truck, and then we're going to go to the RV stage.
Got it.
Okay. Now, are you going to use an air mattress, or you actually take a mattress, or what do you put in that thing?
So actually in the tent, it comes with like a 4-inch memory foam built into it. So we basically just pop that thing up, and we've got all the bedding in there. So we're ready to go.
Oh, nice.
I'll make sure to take some pictures, and for next week we can share.
Yeah, please do. Please do. I'd like to see that whole setup. So we did tent camping for a long time. And then I think it was about 3 years ago, my wife was kind of like, nope, I think we're done. I think we're done with tent camping. I think I don't want to ever do that again. So
especially with kids,
we
though.
don't do that.
Yeah, especially with kids, longer drives, RVs make sense.
Yeah, no doubt about it. No doubt about it. So anyways, what else you guys doing? Anybody else doing something fun?
Trey, when does your big trip start?
Oh, good question. June 10th. We head out on June 10th. We head to Louisville. And
Was
then
that
we're
9
out- we
weeks
don't
you're
come back
going for
till
9 weeks
August
this time?
1st, 7 weeks. We'll be gone 7 weeks.
That's
Coming
awesome.
back August 1st. Yeah. So it's a very exciting time for the girls too. They're 13, 11. They're going to miss their friends. Of course, that's kind of the dumpy part of the whole thing, but they're super excited to see a lot of stuff this year. They're going to see tons of Smithsonian's and DC and monuments and all kind of stuff. They're going to see Thomas Jefferson's home, George Washington's home, Gettysburg, Valley Forge, Hershey, PA. What's up, Rhonda? We're going to see Independence Hall in Philadelphia, New York, Boston, Portland, Maine. We're going to stay in the White Mountain National Park in New Hampshire, Lake Champlain in Vermont, Niagara Falls, and then head back. And our last week is actually the Wisconsin Dells. So,
Wow.
Pittsburgh is a really nice place to visit.
it
Just
is, but
saying.
it's like it was just not on the way this time. It's just not on the way. We're gonna
Beautiful,
have to-
Just missed it.
Beautiful ballpark there, Trey.
It is. No, it is. It's a great ballpark. I love Pittsburgh. Actually, I will give mad props to Pittsburgh. One of my favorite cities, especially when you're on the south side, up top, looking at the city from the bluffs up there.
Mount
Beautiful
Washington.
city. Is that what it's called? Beautiful. Absolutely love it. And good people in Pittsburgh, of course. So
Yeah.
I've enjoyed being there a few times, but not on this trip. We'll get another time. But anyways, so what else is everybody doing for Memorial Day weekend?
We're supposed to have some.
Anything else?
We're having some folks over tomorrow. We're doing a little about 3 or 4 couples grilling out, and then we're going to have Sunday, Monday to ourselves.
There we go.
Yep.
Yeah,
one of
Enjoy a little extra
the
time off.
one of the things that me and my brother used to do growing up, you talk about the Indy 500, we would get the newspaper and we would pick every single driver in the race, and we'd watch it and see who won. So as we got older, we've progressed that, and we both have kids now, so we'll get on a call, and he's actually his family's going out of town, so they're going to be out of town, but we'll get on a call and have our kids kind of go through and do the same thing and pick out all the drivers, and then we'll all watch it, and text chains will be going back and forth.
Yeah.
Passing
How
on
many
the
drivers do
tradition.
you pick? How many drivers do you pick?
We pick all of them. There is always a winner and a loser.
Nice. Yeah, this year so I always root for Alexander Rossi. That's my guy. And by the way, sorry about the noise in the background. I'm getting massive trees removed today from my house. I've got a sweet gumball tree that I've had to pick up gumballs for a long time. It's out of here. I've got 2 pin oaks in the backyard that are just like leaning over my house. Massive, like 35-year-old, 40-year-old pin oaks just leaning over the house. They're out of here. So it's great. But of course, you can see behind me the wood chipper, which I got to tell you, this wood chipper, unbelievable. I mean, if you really wanted to get rid of a human being, this is the way to do it. I cannot believe how they put these massive, massive trunks. I'm talking like, These things are probably 20 inches around. You just shove it in there, gone. Like, it's crazy. Like, so I'm sure someone else has thought of it. I'm never going to do it, but it was just my first thought was, wow, like that's it. Just turns you into pudding. It's just crazy.
Cool.
So I know.
You didn't see that on the movie Fargo?
Oh yeah.
Yes, I did actually see it on the movie Fargo.
The trooper comes and says, "That must be your friend over there in the wood chipper." There's a leg sticking up.
Yes. Oh, it's so gross. Well, this one here is this is way better than the one he used. Like this one here, there would be no remnants. There would be no evidence whatsoever.
I believe
pretty
it.
wild, but it's amazing too because I got the crane out here. You can't see the crane, but this crane operator, this guy climbs up. I got some pictures I'll show you in a minute. This guy climbs up the tree, wraps up, gets a huge section of the tree, and then like just they cuts it, and the crane just lifts this thing over my house. Like, it's a little scary. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, please don't slip. Please don't slip.
Pretty impressive what they're doing out there. So anyways, the noise is going to be a little crazy today. I apologize, but that's just the way it is. So with that said, we're going to jump into a quick poll because it's Memorial Day weekend. Obviously, for Memorial Day, we celebrate the troops, we celebrate the military, and in memory of them and anyone else who's passed away. And so I'm going to launch a poll. I'm going to find out a little bit about what you guys have done, and then in terms of military, your families, and then we're going to talk about it a little bit and see what kind of music I can get today here. We definitely need some music to drown out that madness. So let's see what we got. Go ahead and take that poll, and then we'll. Oh, here we go. A little Nancy Sinatra. So my mom's in town this week, and we were listening to Barry Manilow because my sister's big into Barry Manilow and the big bands. She's here too. And we started talking, and I was like, man, who's the last person to do big band music? And I was thinking Frank Sinatra, and then somehow I got talking about Nancy Sinatra. And then I found out that she sang the song, "These Boots Are Made for Walking." Had no idea. And her voice is not that good compared to old Frank. I don't know what happened. But, she got a record deal because she's, her last name's Sinatra. So little "These Boots Are Made for Walking." So these boots are made for walking. That's just what they'll do.
One of these days, these boots are
Testing.
gonna walk over you.
Oh shit, there's more questions.
Yeah, there's more questions. Don't miss any.
Oh,
Kind of not impressed with Nancy Sinatra, but anyways. I've
testing.
been on a
Good
George
song.
Strait kick this weekend too. Yeah, this is the decent song, but not the rest of it. We've been on a little George Strait kick this weekend as well.
I love George Strait.
I think we're trying to
Erin,
share with our
how
kids
are
what
you?
real country music looks like.
I'm good. How are you?
Good. I miss you. I was kind of letting you settle in before I start nagging you.
She's been working, TJ's got her doing all kinds of crazy stuff. She's probably writing new dad jokes for him and all kinds of stuff. Some research out there.
Yeah, she's the brains behind the operation, that's for sure.
Shout out to TJ Knudsen. Good guy. Where's Chris Jolly, by the way? Anybody know? Another week, another no-show. That's how it works.
Dude's a magician.
He's got other things to do. He's he's got bigger and better things. I don't know what's happening, but he's out. He is out. He will be guest hosting soon, though. So look for that here in the coming weeks. He's going to be guest hosting. Oh, look at this. Rumor has it that Nick Rimmer could not make it today because he has a sick child, but he's jumping on anyways. That's a trooper. That's what I'm talking
He's
about.
sick,
Pulling double
too.
duty today.
Yeah, Jolly should take notes.
Pulling double duty. I mean, you can do more than one thing at a time, Chris. Let's go. I mean, he could be doing a call and have this up and just mute one and just go back and forth. I've done that. Who hasn't done that? Who hasn't been on 2 sales calls, at the same time? All right, so Nick, I'm trying to promote you to panelist, bro, but it's not letting me in. I don't know what the deal is. I know you can hear us. It's not working. Allow to talk. Here we go. So I'll just do that. Talking permitted, Nick. Now you can talk. This is so sad. We can't get Nick. Are you muted now? Unmute. Technical difficulties with Nick Rumor today, everybody. I'm not sure what the deal is. Oh, here we go. Nick, unmute. Unmute again. Turn your camera on. Okay, I don't know.
There it is.
There he
Oh.
is. What's up, little fella?
Hi,
Feeling
Eli.
better?
Oh, boy.
Yeah, that's spreading the COVID germs here.
Oh,
Whatever
God.
it might be.
Did you tell him to cough when we got on the phone just so we could all say, oh, that's good timing. Really good timing. I'm impressed. Very impressed with that. Okay, let's go ahead and end the poll real quick. We're talking about Memorial Day. Nick, what are you guys doing over there? Do you guys celebrate Memorial Day over there, or do you guys like those Americans, whatever? What do you guys do?
No, we do, but like it depends on per family and if they've got any connections. But yeah, we do.
Yeah. Oh, wow. This is fascinating here. Okay, so I'm going to share the results. Check this out. None of us on the call have served in the military. That's really interesting. I was thinking one or two of you might have. Eric's not on the call, of course. We would have had one with him. If you had served in the military, which one would you have joined?
Tried to join the Army after my master's degree in disaster medicine and management. I was too old.
What?
Too old. I was
Do you have an age
34.
limit?
Yeah.
What's the age limit?
I was 34. I think it was, unless you're medical staff, somewhere in your 20s.
Huh.
I was really bummed.
Interesting.
Not even the reserves.
Very
I
interesting.
couldn't do that either. So
Wow. I almost joined the Air Force Reserves when I was 23 because I was really lost. I had no idea what I wanted to do in life. I thought, well, maybe I'll go in the Air Force and figure something out. And then I got a job as a basketball coach, and I said, nope, I'm going to coach basketball. So
Yeah, I was almost.
but I would have joined the Marines. Though my dad was in the Marines Reserve. Sorry, go ahead, Coleman.
No, I was gonna say I was almost a West Point guy. Had an application in and was ready to go, and then last minute decision decided to go into a different school. But yeah, I was
You had
right
a
there.
West Point recommendation and didn't go?
Yeah, I know, right?
Holy moly! Wow, that's crazy. Well, congratulations on getting a recommendation.
Oh,
I hear
thank
that's
you.
pretty tough. I did not get a recommendation, so there you go. So Diana's trying to join us. I'm having the same issue with Diana. Nick, I don't know what happened. It was hard to get you guys in there. There we go. Now we got her in there. Zoom is not being my friend today, but it's okay. That's how it goes. That's how it goes. So I would have joined the military. You were thinking about West Point. Interesting. Anyone else have you thought about going to the military?
I could never hack it.
No. You just know yourself too well.
I did. I
Dad, give
joined.
me 20. You
can
give me
they
20.
give you a time schedule that you have to adhere to?
What's this waking up at 5
I joined at
a.m.?
17.
What are we doing? All right, so here's a question. How
What
many
branch,
generations of
Diana?
your family have served? Oh, yeah, Diana, sorry, go ahead. What's up? You
No, I
joined
said-
what, Diana?
I joined the army at 17. I was
Really?
17 years old.
Wow. How long did you serve?
It wasn't long. I have a bad ear. So it didn't last very
So you
long.
were out,
Mhm.
medical discharge of some sort?
Yeah, it
Interesting.
sucked.
So how many
It's-
generations in your family have
Diana, it's
served?
because you listen to the 90s music too much.
Never.
Blaring. That's right.
Yeah,
That's the
right.
problem.
No, actually, my dad
so-
served. Yeah. My dad
Interesting. What
served.
branch?
My Navy. He retired. He
Yeah,
served for
very
20
cool.
years. My godfather served. He was Army. He's actually still in the Army. But he's as a minister now, so
Okay.
he does reserves.
They call it a minister or chaplain? What do they-
Chaplain, yeah.
Yeah, chaplain.
Yep.
We have a friend who's a chaplain in the military. I think he's a chaplain in the Army down in Georgia. Wife was in our wedding, so keep up with them a little bit. So here's an interesting one. How many generations in your family have served? So there's quite a bit in here. So for one of you, 5 or more generations have served. Kyle McNaught, what's up, buddy? One of you, 3 generations served. 2 of you, 2 generations, and 3 of you, 1 generation has served. So you have in the family. Are those veterans still alive?
Not on my end.
You guys-
Great grandfather
on
and
your end?
grandfather for me at least.
Okay. Do you guys do anything
Was it
for them?
was
on
it
Memorial Day,
mandatory?
or-
Was it mandatory in the U.S.? Because I was the last generation where it stopped being mandatory to at least serve 2 or 4 years. But
When does the
my
draft
older
end?
brother and everybody else, like generations before that, was mandatory.
I don't know,
Let's
actually.
see. I'm looking it up right now. U.S. draft ended on July 1st, 1973. So, and it wasn't mandatory, Nick. It was just a draft. So they could pick your name from a hat essentially, and you had to serve. But it wasn't mandatory like it is. I think South Korea everybody has to serve 2 years. Every male has to serve 2 years after high school at some point. Here's an interesting thing. The only thing that keeps you from not serving your 2 years is if you win an Olympic medal. It's interesting. Yeah, if you win an Olympic medal, gold medal, or I think it has gold, but maybe just a medal. If you win an Olympic medal, you don't have to serve. And don't ask me why. But the reason I know that is because there are several golfers on the PGA Tour that are South Korean, and they were talking about the way that they get out of their service is if they win an Olympic medal this summer. That if they win a golf championship in the Olympics, that they wouldn't have to serve their mission. But that happens. A lot of the golfers from South Korea, they'll play on the PGA Tour. They'll go and serve 2 years and they'll come back and play. Very, very odd.
Jeez.
Kind of interesting. So,
well, hopefully the Olympics happen.
Yeah, I think they will. If I were a betting person, I would say they will. And I'll show you a couple of pictures to back up my logic on that. But I think that will happen. Okay, number 3, what will you do on Memorial Day weekend? We talked about this a little bit. One, you will visit a cemetery. Oh, you know what? I didn't do this as multiple choice. I totally blew it. My mistake. Well, let's just figure out. How many of you will go visit a cemetery? Raise your hands. How many people will go visit a cemetery? Okay, so 2. Okay. How about watch war movies? Anybody going to relive watching some war movies? Nobody's doing that. Okay, moving on. Grilling out. We're doing that. So 2, a couple of people are going to grill out. Watch the Indy 500. That's me for sure, but I'm not very good. Little mini vacation. Anybody taking a 3-day vacation on Memorial Day weekend? There you go.
Yeah.
Rhonda, where are you going?
We're going up Tonto Forest, go kayaking, cliff diving, all that crazy.
You're such an
adventure
outdoorsy
stuff.
girl. I love it.
Yeah.
You're just like outdoorsy. Whatever. Let's go do something outdoors. I love it. And then other. What else you guys doing?
I like cleaning my house.
Oh my gosh. That's what you do on Memorial Day weekend, or is that what you do every weekend? Like, come on.
At least clean it outside so you're outside doing something.
It's going to be cold and rainy.
Oh.
It is going to be cold and rainy.
Yeah.
I know it is. We're getting a whole stretch through here. The high in Indianapolis is like 68, which I'm not complaining about because 2 years ago, 2019, the high was 98, and we were in the sun just baking. We're there for like 5 hours. It was brutal. So I will take the 68 this weekend for sure. Okay, quick question, kind of a fun question. Should the president of the United States be required to serve in the military to become president? 6 of you say no. 1 of you says yes. That kind of surprises me because I think he should, personally. If he's going to be the commander in chief, I think he probably should have served in the military at some point. But what do I know? Good. So somebody tell me why I'm wrong. Somebody tell me why that doesn't matter.
I think we might get to a point where you don't even have to be born in the U.S. later down the line.
Well, that would take a constitutional amendment. And, I was thinking about this. The founders are really smart. If it takes 2/3 of the states to ratify the Constitution, when have 2/3 of the states ever agreed on anything? Like, I don't think that's ever going to happen again, but.
True. Yeah, at least from my end, I think that it would be very beneficial to your point, Commander in Chief, but that's part of what makes a great leader is that they surround themselves with the best people that handle specific aspects of things. So I don't know. I can see it going either way.
It's interesting. After, I think, was Eisenhower the last general to become president? I know that Bush served in the military. Maybe both Bushes served a little bit, but certainly the older Bush served in the military. That was kind of the last one in the military that was president. All the rest of them since then have not been in the military. I don't know. I kind of just wish they would have at least served. They don't have to be like high up leadership. I just feel like they should have served. I don't know. I mean,
yeah.
I just think that would be
I get that. I mean, I think they would get a lot of experience out of that, and that leadership, as Coleman was saying, is important.
Yeah, but you would also it would screen out a lot of people, first of all, and you would lose out, I think, on a lot of career politicians, honestly, being president. And I would love that. I hate career politicians. I'm just going to say it right now. I'm not a fan of career politicians whatsoever.
I agree.
I'm there with you.
That'd be a nice change.
Who thinks there should be a limit on,
go ahead, Rob.
Limit on terms for like senators and stuff? Speaking of commercial politicians,
because that is the height of hypocrisy. That they put a term limit on a president, but not on themselves. Unbelievable. Can they do that through executive action? Can they just do that? I'm not a big fan of executive action, but that's one where I feel like the president should be able to do that as well to Congress and say, hey, there's limits. But that's never going to happen, unfortunately. But I wish it would. Really wish it would. You know what I found out? What's interesting is, the U.S. Constitution's lasted 200 plus years. Juan was telling us recently that, Colombia, they can just reconstitute the government. Like, it just seems so crazy to me to do that. There are some things I wish we could kind of do over. That would be one of them, is term limits for sure, and get some people out of there. Okay, last question. This was just kind of a fun question to see what you guys think about that. Do you think there's going to be another world war in the next 30 years, like similar to World War II, World War I, some of those? And 5 of you say yes, that is going to happen, and 2 of you say no. Very interesting. We've certainly had regional wars, but in terms of really big, massive world wars, we haven't had one in 70 years. So that'd be pretty crazy to see. I hope it doesn't happen, because I'm 30 years might be the end of my run here. That'd be fun. So
I think what will happen, we will never have the wars that we had, like the First or Second World War. Everything again, how we all digitalize stuff for work. It's the same with war.
Yeah.
So there will be massive wars coming, but again, those ones will be virtual. There's a lot of threatening back and forth, and they will be big and cyber attacks and stuff.
Knocking out your grids, knocking out your banking, your finance, that kind of stuff. Where
I don't think we will see.
It's not going to kill people.
World War type
like that.
It's different.
It's all going to be drones.
It's interesting, and drones, right? But think about this. When are we ever going to let drones fly into our airspace? It'll be pretty interesting how that works out. But anyways, so I hope you guys have a wonderful Memorial Day weekend. I hope you enjoy that and have a good time. Raquel, welcome to the show. Good to have you. All right, very good. We'll get her in a minute when she jumps in.
Sorry, couldn't see. Hello, everyone.
That's all right. That's all right. Hey, great post the other day, by the way. I love your posts. They're so thoughtful. So keep posting, keep sharing content. Especially good things about lean. Definitely do that. But anything at all is really good. I love reading your posts, which is wonderful. So let's pause for a minute and let's do This Week in Pictures. I've got some things I want to share this week that are pretty interesting. And since we're talking Memorial Day weekend, some of these will fit right in. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. While we're doing that, we're going to listen to a little George Strait, because that's the kick that we've been on lately. We've been on a little George Strait kick. Been singing to my wife a lot lately. That's kind of how it's been working out. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen. So this, ladies and gentlemen, is the former tree in my front yard. It no longer exists. This brave gentleman right here, who I haven't gotten his name yet, went up there and started chopping this tree down. Check this thing out. This is how they do it. The crane is holding that part of the tree up there. Look at that. Just picked it right up. And wow. It was absolutely amazing. So I enjoyed watching. And of course, we're getting our RV ready, so it's over there. But I was enjoying watching them do that. My daughter just loved watching. She's like, this is amazing. So that was pretty cool, pretty fun today. A couple of things we got going on. So very interesting. Apparently now we're interested in the origins of the virus. So Joe Biden is asking for more investigation in terms of how the virus occurred, which is fascinating considering that Fauci said a long time ago that it didn't originate in China. It wasn't intentional. It was a bat thing, or maybe it did, but it was a bat thing. It was total natural, not caused by humans in any way. So that's going to happen. So we also had the Republicans voting, obviously, for their best interests, and that is to not have any type of investigation into the January 6th insurrection event at the Capitol. So that's newsworthy. Pretty interesting there. Of course, they're never going to vote to do that. In better news, and almost shocking news, almost hard to believe news, Phil Mickelson, at the age of 50, won the PGA Championship. And then this week he went and played, and after the first round, he was down by 10 shots. And they said, hey, how you feeling being down 10 shots after winning the PGA? He said, I don't really care. I won the PGA Championship. So which I thought was pretty awesome. So that was it. Speaking of the PGA Championship, this is what it looked like. So obviously a historical win, but I will have you notice that happened last weekend. And if I look in the picture, I see one person with the mask. Let's just go back here. This fella right here, that guy right there is wearing, there you go.
There's another one.
On right there. You see now? Oh, right there too. Yeah, right there. So 2 masks. Sorry about that. So 2 masks. So very interesting how people have just decided that this just no longer matters. So that's what's happening there. But pretty cool where they fans just kind of swarmed Phil Mickelson. So that's pretty awesome. The CNN ran an article on its Memorial Day weekend, what's safe to do. So again, this was the PGA Championship. I think they think it's safe to do that. I don't think anybody's paying attention anymore to what the government or people are telling us it's safe to do right now. This is what it looked like at. This is kind of that wasn't last week, but that was one. This is the Texas Rangers Stadium. They're now full capacity, so that was a game this week. So that's happening in the news. So that's pretty interesting. But then, most importantly, is the Indy 500. This is the starting grid this year for the race. If you're going to be watching it, it's at 12:45 p.m. Eastern, 11:45 p.m. Central on Sunday. So enjoy that. We're going to be there enjoying the race as well. We were talking about trophies earlier. This is the Borg Warner Trophy given to the winner of the Indianapolis 500. And as you notice, they literally put the faces of the winners on the trophy. Is this not the weirdest trophy you've ever seen? Look at
That
this.
is strange.
So they sculpt your face and they throw it on. It almost looks like something out of a horror movie. Like, you know, it's weird. Faces sticking out of the trophy. I mean, look at this. Is this not?
It's kind of creepy.
Is so crazy. I
It's
know.
like that.
This is the.
What's that commercial? What's that commercial with the hood, the front of the hood, whatever those things are called, with the silver lady or whatever? You know what I'm talking about? Anybody know what I'm talking about?
Allstate. It's an Allstate commercial.
Yeah, that's like reminds me of that. That's so creepy. It starts wiggling.
Yeah, very weird. This is Takuma Sato. He's a two-time winner. He won last year. He's defending champ this year.
Can someone explain to me that commercial? Because I don't get it. I see that one and I'm like, it's stopped. I'm like, what's the point? It's just like, why is the hood ornament singing? What is the point of this one? Am I missing something? I can't understand that commercial.
I
have no idea.
Somebody
The other day.
somebody
It was
pull
on.
it up
I'm
on
like,
YouTube.
what the hell does this mean? Because I hear this stupid song. And I'm like, what is the point
Someone
of
pull it up
commercial?
on YouTube. I don't know what it is. I don't know. Crazy.
I don't get
Crazy.
it. Someone knows, please let
Weird.
me know.
All right, so this is the one that Coleman sent over. This is this Cristiano Ronaldo? Is that right?
That is him. That's a statue.
What happened here?
Yeah, they unveiled that
Like
statue in his honor, and he was like, "No, this is not going to happen." So they obviously redid it to something better. But
I mean,
yeah, it was pretty bad.
Janky. He's got wrinkles on this side, not on this side. The eyes are not level. What happened?
Eyes are.
Man,
Ooh.
that's brutal. I mean, these two people don't even look anything close to one another.
No.
Oh, it's pretty
This
crazy.
doesn't even really look like Ronaldo to me. I don't know, maybe a little bit, but I don't know. It doesn't but that's, I mean, the ears are different. I mean, who did this?
Everything,
Like, this had to
yeah.
be a joke. This had to be a joke.
I would
Pretty
hope.
crazy. Oh, definitely hope so. Definitely hope so. So this is interesting. New York City is sending vaccination buses to the beaches. Can you imagine going to the beach on Memorial Day weekend and they come up and shoot you in the arm? I mean, hey, I give them credit for being creative, but that's pretty fascinating. I don't know how successful it's going to be. I can't wait to hear how the vaccination drive goes at the beach this weekend. So we'll find out about that. And then I believe last, Kyle McNaught, tell us what we're seeing here. What is this? What are we looking at?
That's my little nugget deciding to sleep finally and not beat the hell out of my dog, which she usually does. But my dog's a saint and takes all the beating that she does. But this is her first time of sleeping. However, this is probably 7:30 at night and she's supposed to be asleep at this point in time. So I was a little tired the next day.
Yeah, but hugging the dog, very, very cute. Very cute. So thanks for sharing that. I appreciate you sending in some pictures for this.
Yeah, it's all Beefcake Bane. I'm like, all right, what do I got? It's not me being a beefcake, so I can show what I got.
This is way cuter than what he said. Way better. He just sends a picture of how strong he is. I'm like, okay, we get it, buddy. We get it. We know. We know. We got it. But no, that's great. So gonna be a great weekend, great week. All right, so next thing I want to talk about today, this is really fascinating. So I want to talk about Black History Celebration all year long. So this is really fascinating this week. I wanted to find out a little bit about the history of African Americans in the military. As many of you know, a lot of them have served faithfully in the military, even when they were enslaved. As I was reading and finding out about this, in the Civil War, a lot of them would fight to get their freedom. They were promised freedom if they fought and joined the war efforts. But the first one to get the Medal of Honor was Powhatan Betty, who was the first sergeant with Company G of the 5th U.S. Colored Troops. He got the Medal of Honor for taking command of his company after all the officers were killed or wounded. So he literally just kept the battle going. And then the second was Alexander Kelly, He was the first sergeant with Company F of 6th U.S. Colored Troops. He was cited for Medal of Honor as well. And this was back in the between the 1800 and 1865 period, well before civil rights even were beginning to play a role in our country, the Civil War and those types of efforts as well. I was also reading about a gentleman named Dr. Lewis Tompkins Wright. He was the son of a man who was born into slavery, graduated from Harvard University in 1915 with high honors. And in 1917, he was commissioned as a first lieutenant in the medical section of the U.S. Army Officer Reserve Corps, rose to the rank of lieutenant colonel during World War I. And so just a lot of really cool history here. I'm going to put this link to this website that I found. It's an Army website, and it talks a lot about the history of African Americans serving in the Army. I'm going to put this into our chat box, and you guys can check that out. But really, really cool to learn about some of those things. Really fascinating. So that'll be there for you as well. But there's been a great history of African Americans serving in the military and doing so really valiantly. So really, really cool to see that. Check that out this week. Do a little history, get a little education. It'll be cool. Pretty cool highlight. So pretty neat to see. You guys have yeah, go ahead. Somebody was gonna say something. Nope. All right. Okay. All right. So that's your work to do this weekend is do a little bit of reading on the Army website. Really, really cool. All right. So let's transition real quick to some transportation topics. We've got some supply chain issues. We have I don't know if you guys saw this or not, but I think it was Ford Motor Plant or one of the others up in Detroit shut down production for a couple of days because they had a chip shortage. I don't think we realize how much we rely on chips to live our everyday life, but we saw that happening. So we're going to have a little poll about supply chain issues. I want to get your feedback on what's happening there. And again, we're going to keep listening to a little George Strait here. That was Check Yes or No. That was actually a pretty good song. I used to sing that to my wife back in the day. All right, so this is the fun one. This is, anybody know this one? Who can pick it first? Who's got it? No? Nobody? There you go. You'll get it right away. All my exes live in Texas.
That's good.
Texas is the place I'd really love to be. But all my exes live in Texas. And that's why I hang my hat in Tennessee. It's a good karaoke song. Good karaoke song. Yeah, very good. Arcana. Oh, George Strait. Very good. All right, keep going. Not a long one, only 4 questions this time. Not too bad. It's funny, I'm watching the YouTube live version and this version, and whenever somebody turns the camera off, they just drop off the screen. They're out. YouTube does not like it when your camera's off. So remember that, Raquel, if you want to be on the screen, you got to keep the camera on.
I'm on a call. I didn't want to be like talking to everyone.
See, this is what I'm talking about, Chris Jolly. Look at this. Raquel works. She puts her, this works. See, Chris is always like, I'm working, I'm busy, I can't, whatever. Whatever. Bane was tentative today, I'm working. Like, okay, whatever. My exes live in Texas. And that's why I hang my hat in Tennessee. I'm really getting into this song way too much. Really getting into this one. All right, let's go ahead and close this out. Let's talk a little supply chain. Some of you guys are in the trenches. I want to hear what's going on. Raquel, you've always got good updates in the trenches. Let's talk about this. Number 1, what is the biggest problem in the supply chain? 2 of you say import-export challenges. I agree with that. I saw that the ports are backed up even more now than they were a month and a half ago. Crazy. 2 of you put not enough drivers. None of you put not enough trucks. So plenty of trucks, but not enough drivers. 1 of you put pent-up demand or scarcity mindset. People are buying stuff like crazy still, just nuts. And then 2 of you put other. So let's talk about this. What am I not thinking about? Who put other?
How about, no, that's not enough money. I'll do it for twice that amount. And like they
so
can be
plenty of drivers, but a little, they're not taking the loads.
Yeah. I can't wait until that flips around. Just saying.
Are you making a list? I bet you are. You've got a list. You probably have a dartboard with like, you're pulling pictures off LinkedIn, you're throwing them up there, got some darts going at them. That's probably what's happening with you. I bet you're already making
Actually,
making a
I
revenge
did
list.
just say that today. I said that I was going to start a list of all the high maintenance carriers that are driving me crazy.
Yeah. And then when they want to load later on, you'd be like, no,
Mhm.
sorry,
Yeah.
can't give that one to you. Very interesting. Okay, what else? Who else has something else I'm not thinking about?
I was thinking about reverse logistics and just waste and how that's tying up the whole supply chain industry.
Yeah, that's true. And
Fine.
also, final mile is becoming a really big issue because everybody's going direct to consumer now. And also you have dealing with returns. That's something new. People bought so much stuff in 2020 from Amazon and then sent stuff back. And I literally, like, whenever I go to buy something now, I'm like, I don't like it, I'll just send it back. I mean, it's like how we think now. We just don't even think twice about it. But now you got that whole issue and people trying to figure out the final mile issue. I heard something like final mile investments in the next 5 years or some astronomical number that's going to be like a $3 billion industry alone, just the final mile. I don't know if that's true or not, but it's huge. And companies are trying to figure that out. Shout out to my friends over at 5 String Solutions. That's what they're focusing on, is fixing that with some cool technology. So pretty interesting. So what about import export challenges? I mean, how do you fix some of this stuff when it's before it ever gets to our shore? Like, I mean, this is such a huge problem when it comes to that. Greg, what do you think?
I don't think you can fix it once it's en route. I mean, we can put some measures in place that can prevent things from happening next time. But once you have 30 ships anchored in the harbor, sorry for the pun, but the ship has sailed, right? It's stuck there. You're in that mess, and the only thing to do is, overwork individuals at the ports to get them to unload as much as possible, overpay the trucks that Aaron's talking about to when they transload off the containers to get those out of there so they can get the chassis back to the port. I mean, there are so many things that get impacted when you have that much freight there. And then, as I'm sure all of us know, I'm sitting at my house saying, well, where's my product from Amazon? Right. And, or whoever the customer is saying, well, it's there in Long Beach. Why can't you get it to me? It's, and especially if you have somebody who's in, Los Angeles as a customer, that I can see the ship. I can look out, I can see it. And it's, you get into these situations where, not everybody who is impacted by the logistics world understands some of the details and some of the, some of the processes that you have to go through.
My VP of ops, like, his favorite story is he worked at for Adidas, and he's like, yeah, I would have like the head of like the Southeast yelling at me in the boardroom. And he's like, listen, the ship's up there. You want to know how this works? Like, I can't even hire a helicopter to go pick this up because it's on a container that's so far below, like, it doesn't work like you think. I can't just get on a skipper and drive over there. He's like, but people just don't understand that. They think that I can see the ship. Why can't I get my stuff? You're like, no.
Swim.
What's this going to lead to? What new technologies or what new processes will this lead to? Because that there's got to be somebody who's going to have to like figure this out. Are we going to need more ports? Are we going to need more cranes? Are we going to need what is this going to lead to?
They're building bigger ports, more or bigger cranes. They're getting more stuff that the ports can handle more. But the question is, it's going to be something completely. Exactly. And it's going to be something completely different. I think at least it's going to be something completely outside of what we're doing today. It's not going to be a new crane. It's not going to be a new port. If I had the answer, I'd be doing pretty well. Yeah.
I guarantee that.
But that's
no way you'd be here.
It's going to be something that somebody has to think. It's going to be extremely disruptive, and it's going to, I think when we see that, it's going to shift global logistics, because right now every country is very segmented. Once we get into whatever that next step is, I think that's when it's going to become much more global. Which is terrifying and exciting at the same time.
But isn't it like the unions right now really, I mean, it's hard to say automation. Like, people think you're going to take their job. Like, you got to, like, it's going to have to be so disruptive, but also something that brings everyone along, which is going to be the hardest part because I did this for 30 years. My father did this for like, how are you going to talk that? That's going to be the hardest part of it.
Yeah.
People.
So here's what I think would be really cool. And again, I don't think this will ever happen, but you know how I go back to like the banks, you used to go into the bank and you make your deposit or whatever. Then
you're thinking coffee shop?
The bank. No.
Well, Ocean Free coffee shops.
Then you had the drive-up bank, and you had the suction maneuver. Put it in there, shoot it over. Wouldn't it be cool if they could fill a container and then just like put it inside some sort of canister and just shoot it over, and then it got here, and then there was room to to kind of get it off, but there was some sort of like assembly, like I don't know, it's just something like that made it easier to do. Where because right now you have all of these ships, that have to get loaded and unloaded and all that. There's got to be a way to do this easier somehow. I mean, think about it.
Just go full Futurama and move people through tubes.
Or just teleport. Like, screw it. Let's just go to the very end of things and just teleportation.
All right, listen. The only continent that is not really able to be connected is Australia. All right, that's the only one. I mean, you can take all the rest and pretty much make. I mean, Alaska, Russia up there, they're pretty close. They're pretty close. That's the only one. Like I'm just thinking outside the box here. Wouldn't that be cool if we had something like that? I mean, they're building these tubes now for high-speed rail where you can just jump in a tube and shoot that way.
Is it 3D printing? Isn't it like 3D printing? Basically, they're hoping that kind of becomes teleportation. Like here you go, you just download like what this is, and it's right there. Like I saw the thing with the rhino
materials for that.
Where like they're trying to like take away poachers because they're 3D printing horns that match the genetic makeup of rhinos, and they're just going to flood the market with those. So the price is going to know.
Right, and that's actually pretty cool.
Well, I can give a little bit of insight. I had some material in the Port of Louisiana last week, and we worked on it for 10 days, and we could not get a single truck. So as a broker, we couldn't get it, but my client was able to pull some strings, pay an astronomical amount of money, and get it moved. But when I spoke to the port, they told me they have freight sitting, and it's just sitting there because they can't get trucks to get it moving. So it's a twofold issue. We have so much coming in, but then we have so much demand on the trucks and not enough drivers entering this market. And
chassis issues too, big time.
Yeah, you can't blame it on one thing. It's like
no, it's everything compiled. And
incredible storm.
I also think that we're not getting after the younger crowd to get into trucking, right? Like every company I talk to that says, "Yeah, I make a post in the newspaper." I don't read the newspaper. The kids younger than me aren't reading the newspaper. So there has to be a switch in how we're attaining people into transportation and bringing them into this market.
Yeah, that's a really good point. Like using social media, using Instagram or something to attract a younger generation. Wow, do they still do ads in papers? I didn't even know they did that.
Yeah,
I thought that was one of the sections that they've eliminated at this point. Is the classifieds. I figured that was no longer even a thing. But wow, that's really archaic.
I'm scheduling an appointment with one of our trucking schools here locally to try to see how I can help bring in some people and get people into the market. It's a 4-week program, before they even get their CDL and license. And then I think they've got to stay locally for a while before they can go over the road. But we have to make a big push. We have to start getting drivers into the market.
Well, that's a great transition to our next question, Raquel, which is, what is the best way to ease the driver shortage? 3 of you put more pay. That's always a possibility, although more pay often equals lower quality because they're just paying up through the roof. Better hours. Nobody put that. One of you put shorter hauls. Nobody put import drivers from other parts of the world. Listen, let me tell you why I put that on here. I put that on here because I heard about people doing this. Like there are companies, carriers,
it's already happening.
Hey, we can't get drivers from here. Let's do the paperwork and let's recruit drivers from Eastern Ukraine. Let's recruit drivers from South America, from Latin America. We'll bring them to the States. They'll have a job. We'll train them. We'll do their visa, all of that. Like that's what a lot of them are doing. And again, it makes sense if you can't get drivers here, you have to go elsewhere, right? Like I'm actually hearing about people doing that. I'm just kind of surprised nobody chose that. 3 of you though chose other. And so I think Raquel, you're probably part of that, and that's recruiting younger drivers. What are the other things we can do for the driver shortage?
I don't think that I marked other, but I actually, when I was training and facilitating, I asked a new hire class this, And somebody came up with an idea of everybody that's going into the logistics space, whether it's a brokerage, you're working in supply chain and logistics, you're required to do 6 months of on the road actual driving. So at that point, it's good for people to understand what it's like to actually go through driving, but then every single person that's coming into the industry, at least it's, 6 months of a continual driver there, and everybody gets that introduction to it. So I don't think that that's maybe necessarily the right answer, but it was an interesting way to think about things.
Would that restrict people from wanting to join brokerage? They're like, nah, I'm out. I don't want to drive. I don't know.
Very possible. Very possible.
It's an interesting problem. And it's funny, like when over the road trucking started, it was a lifestyle. And a lot of people liked it. They liked to be able to travel. It was kind of fun. They could make good money. My mom's one of them's best friend. Her husband was the over the road driver. So I heard all those stories. People, man, I don't know that people want that as much anymore. I don't know. I'm not sure. That's why I kind of thought shorter hauls, better hours. I think that people want to be home more nowadays.
I would think so too.
TikTok influencers, YouTube influencers. Get these kids watching this. I think that's huge. I watched the Happiness by the Mile, like her driving, like she makes it seem fun.
Yeah.
You almost need to do it. Almost like get that into the high schools and high school counselors, because they're the ones that are like telling these kids what to do. Unfortunately, a lot of kids probably don't need to go to college who are. They could do well. Driving a truck or doing something else. So very interesting.
I definitely think
all right.
Yeah, go ahead. In recruiting, right? Because there's mostly colleges, but I don't ever see transportation companies getting people into training. And
how many asset carriers are going to high school job fairs or high school, whatever?
Right. And now a lot of people would rather go technical route rather than get into debt and going to college. So it's a really good area. We just need to get the word out there and share.
Well, especially if your option is to go to college virtually. I mean, nobody wants to go to college. This is like the best time to recruit people to drive.
Yes.
Because otherwise their options are to sit in front of a computer and take Zoom classes, which I know several campuses that are still doing that and may do that in the fall again. It's crazy. So a lot of those are still happening. So, okay. Next question. Will prices for consumer goods return to pre-COVID levels? 2 of you think yes. I want to be with you. I doubt it. 5 of you say no, they're not going down, but it's crazy. I've heard that there are places in the country where a 2x4 is $9. Like $9 for a 2x4. I mean, that's crazy when you consider that a year ago was $2.50, $3, at least where I live. So absolutely nuts on that. I sure hope things go back down, but man, it's almost like this. Once they get you at a certain price point, what's their incentive to lower back down unless more competition comes in? I don't know. So we'll have to see about that. Meshach, what's up, buddy?
I'm just looking at the 2x4s, and one site is like $9 that's local, and one site is $17, and you just kind of blew my mind.
17.
Well, that's a 10 footer. That's a 10 footer, but still.
I was in Kansas City. That's crazy. I was in Kansas City this last week with clients and customers, and had the opportunity to go play golf. I know Chris Jolly would give me a hard time about that if he's here, but I got a chance to go play golf with one of the clients, and we were on this course where every hole, minus maybe 2, new houses were going up, new houses were being built. And I'm thinking to myself, how much are those houses costing? My cost of insurance went up 3 months ago. You know why? The cost to replace my house went up. So they raised my insurance as a result of that.
I was just talking to one guy, and he said the house value to build the house went up 20% because of wood. It's 20%.
Oh, at least. I think it went up. I mean, for me, it went up more than that. The number they told me.
I saw an article on LinkedIn, and it was with graphics and everything, and it was like 5 times the cost to build what you could build a year ago only.
Depending on where you are and what you're doing. I mean, it's absolutely nuts. I mean, and I guess how is that going to come back down? And how, I mean, think about our personal financial situations. If you made $100,000 2 years ago, okay, that was $100,000. That money today is probably closer to $75,000, $80,000. I mean, it's like you got a pay cut simply because of what's happening in the economy, a significant one. I mean, gasoline is at its all-time high, or not all-time high, but at a recent high in the last 24 months, I think, right before Memorial Day weekend. I saw that just this week. Let me see if that's right. I may be stretching the truth there on that one.
I think they said last night on our local news, not cable news, they said it's the highest it's been in 7 years.
There you
I don't know
go.
if that was
Yeah.
accurate.
Yeah. And so, I mean, everything's just going up. I just don't know when it's going to come down. So pretty brutal right now in terms of prices. I don't know when they're going to come down. So we'll see what happens. But I hope the two of you said yes are correct. I'm pulling for you on that one. And then
I
last
said
question, does the
I said
sorry,
yes.
go ahead.
I said
Rob,
yes.
I'm with you. Yeah. Optimistic. I like that.
Yeah.
I like that, Rob.
Crazy,
It's
optimistic.
it's supply and demand, and the demand is so great because the economy is actually bouncing back quicker than they thought it would. And the tariff, there was tariffs on lumber out of Canada, pre Joe Biden, and then there was just the sawmills had to shut down due to COVID, and now the demand is like through the roof. No pun intended on building a house, but so that's what's going on with that.
I probably should have gotten a mill out here and taken all this wood I just cut down and turned it into 2x4s.
I was gonna say I'm trying to build a fence, Trey. Send it my way. Jeez.
That would have been smart, but too late. It's already through the wood chipper. It's gone. But
I had a giant branch fall in my backyard. You want me to send it to you, Coleman?
Yeah. all of it.
Spent all day
Just
Sunday
ship
chopping
it.
the damn thing up. So I got plenty of wood. There's termites and dead squirrels in it, but it's all yours, bud.
No trouble getting a truck for that one either, I'm sure. We'll get that right to you.
Can we
All right,
broker this
last
out?
question there. Does the current state of the supply chain impact your spending habits or plans? I asked this question last time because I wanted to see if there was a change, and there was. Now 3 of you say yes and 4 of you say no. So it's starting to impact your spending habits because it hasn't gone away. Here's what I'm not looking forward to. I am not looking forward to the price of fuel for the next 7 weeks on this RV. So last year when we left, it was $1.60 a gallon in Missouri when we left last year.
Yeah.
And when we got to California, Oregon, Washington, it was like $2.80 or $3 a gallon. It was pretty close. And then we came back and it went down as well. This year we're starting at that price in Missouri, and then we're heading east. So I'm not looking forward to that. Our vacation just got a little more expensive, vacation tour, whatever. So not looking forward to that.
Yeah, what do you get? 8-10 miles to the gallon?
Yeah, if we're lucky. About 8.5 is the average last year. It's a little higher if you're heading east, and obviously on flat roads it's a little higher. If you're heading west or going up hills, it's a little lower because the wind typically is a westerly wind, southwest wind. So it's about 8.5, which is not a lot. It's a 55-gallon tank, so you can do the math every time we have to fill it up. It's crazy. Yeah, crazy.
Kids get a lot of breaks.
Yeah, but we didn't. We're not flying anywhere, and Wicked won't be showing in New York until September, so we didn't have to buy those tickets. So saved a couple of tanks of gas right there on that. But pretty wild. All right, everybody. Well, hey, listen, we've reached the top of the hour. Great to see you guys again. As always, have a wonderful Memorial Day weekend, and we will look forward to seeing you next week right here on the Word on the Street, powered by
Great
Lean
to
Solutions
see
Group.
everyone.
Have a good weekend, everybody.
Thanks, Trey.
Happy holiday,
Have fun.
everybody.
Happy holidays.
Everybody.
Take care.
I'm not. Is this the overtime? Is this the after party?
We're getting played out. I like it.
Trey, I got one more joke for you. You want one more joke?
I want to hear it. Let's go. A little bonus for everybody. What do you got?
I put this out
nice.
I put this out in front of my house during all the Gnome games.
Yes, St. Louis Gnome. That's huge. Where did you get that?
I don't know. I think it was a gift.
Awesome.
It was a gift.
That is awesome. Oh, that's cool. I definitely need one of those. That's